Good morning and welcome to Draw 2 of the Scottish Curling Junior Mixed Doubles Curling Championships. We are here at the Dumfries Icebowl, and so it's a lovely day here in Dumfries. My name is Owen McCross and I'm pleased to once again be joined by David Ramsey here on commentary. Quick turnaround from the last game, David. Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready, Owen, born ready. Just getting used to the technology. Sorry about the hitches in the last one. I hope we've resolved them.
Absolutely.
If we've not, fire in a text or an email or some form of communication, a tweet even.
Yes.
Well, Owen can answer a tweet. Some form of communication, and we will try to address it, but none of us is in full control.
As we so seldom are. So today, this game that we're going with sees the team of Angus Bryce and Katie McMillan take on Callum Kinnear and Millie Smith. I think it's quite an interesting matchup.
Very interesting, and obviously all four of these young players I know well. Callum I know obviously very well, having been his team coach for the last 2 or 3 years. Millie's big part of British curling, part of Sophie Jackson's team, yeah. won the World Bees and then the silver medal. And Angus is a very important member of young James Craik's young academy team, and Katie McMillan plays in Beth Palmer's academy team. So
yes,
they've all had some experience of being in the squads. Interesting combinations. Millie's played with different players actually in the last 2 or 3 years, I think.
Yeah, it's a first event, actually, a first mixed doubles event for this team of Callum and Millie, which is interesting. They both had experience at the Youth Olympics playing mixed doubles. That of course was that's a kind of an inter-country event, and so that was not with each other.
They played with international partners on that occasion. Yeah.
And whereas Angus and Katie have played this event, they played this event last year, and they played, although a slightly different competition, they played an under-17 pairs competition and won it this year. So they maybe have the chemistry edge, but I think that Callum and Millie perhaps have the edge from experience.
Really well, both based in Perth.
Yep.
Both, Millie's 20, I think. Callum's 18, so but they've both played for a long time and interacted, in Super Leagues and different things, so they all know each other very well.
And Angus has competed against Callum this year, and in fact, even though he is 15, he won the under-21 slam this year. I think that was a remarkable achievement by that James Craik team.
They're the most consistent team across all their 4 slams at under-21 level, and Angus is usually only 15.
So it's a long way to come.
Yeah.
So we see here that Katie is going to start us off. We're playing mixed doubles. For those of you who don't know, we'll try and keep the stone count up to date. You have 5 stones each. The players, I like to refer to them as the burger and the bun. Someone goes first and last, and someone throws the 3 in the middle. So Katie has started us off. She's coming down the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it. They are playing the blue stones. Before the game, there was a 5-minute practice, and they lost that draw shot challenge. So their cumulative distance in the draws was further away than that of Callum and Millie. Swingy ice here, we see that.
Angus get it around the centre. A wee bit heavy, tap back.
That's a very good shot.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And the 5-minute practice maybe helped them get used to the ice, which is definitely swinging big out to in, and maybe not quite so big in to out. So getting around corners and the power play, which we'll come on to, is a slightly more challenging setup.
You see here Millie Smith attempting to follow down.
She's flying. Looks good too.
Both teams playing with the female in the first and last position.
Callum switch side there just to finish it in a very nice position. So that's 2 excellent first stones.
Some excellent freeze play from both women.
Katie's on early. Trying to come down the other side of the centre this time. Looks good line.
This is some really great weight control exhibited from both of these teams so early.
So it's hard to say who's got control 4-foot stone, depending on the next few stones
say
and the angles that develop.
Realised I've not been keeping our tracker up to date. Yellow is about to throw.
So Callum, in turn, freezes his own yellow. Good line-up. Difficult to predict how this is.
I think this is one of the ends that if a misplaced angle or misplaced stone leaves a double, there could be a big score either way.
Yeah.
Which I think makes this format so exciting.
Okay. I'm not necessarily going to agree with you there. I just worry that it's a little bit of a lottery.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I think it does come down to execution at the same time.
Certainly you'd argue that's 4 really well placed.
Definitely. So these are the teams from Section C and Section D. We do have 4 sections playing across the weekend. You tuned into our earlier broadcast, and I don't know why you wouldn't, because it was great entertainment for all. You would have seen some of the action from Section A and B.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a really nice tap there. That yellow is looking quite lonely, and we talked about this before about trying to force and attempting to force is difficult, but if done is really effective. So that yellow is looking very lonely there.
It is looking lonely. They have last stone, but it's looking lonely, and there's no way into it at the moment.
And this is quite interesting that Millie's kind of meeting this stone halfway down the sheet to sweep it, which definitely isn't something that we'd seen previously. Angus is having a look at the angles already.
Callum showing.
She seems to be past. They are past the guard. They're going to release something. So it's not bad. I wonder if there would be any merit coming the other hand. They seem to be.
It's interesting because I think blue have control of both sides of the sheet.
Yeah. I suppose tapping this blue back onto this yellow could end up with 3 blues counting in the 4-foot, which is a very tricky situation.
Called that. You can actually tap this and protect it too.
Yeah, you could hit this blues or this Yellowstone pretty much anywhere.
It's just you can't get to the nose, or maybe you can just get to the nose. But they're literally just tapping it back onto the face of the yellow at the back of the buckle.
Yeah, not too heavy a weight, just a back 8 weight.
Back 4, exactly. Back 4. Looking for a bit of swing. There's a big swingy ice here, so the big long path means it's a little heavier played.
He's a little bit high at the minute. It's coming nicely. He's sweeping this. If he's by the guard, he will be good.
He's tapped back way.
That's a really
very well.
That's an excellent shot, I think.
Now the angle, that blue, yeah, exactly as Callum's pointing out, maybe allows you to move 2 blues. In fact, it does allow you to move 2 blues. I think you hit the blue at the top of the 8-foot, the yellow splits the 2 blues in the 4-foot.
Okay, yeah. You could then be lying 2 yellows. And that's the shot that
I think you'll miss the yellow in the way through. I think you'll lie 2 yellows.
That's the shot that Callum has nominated.
Blue will still be in front of it.
It is up to Callum is playing. It is his shot to play. It is Callum's last shot. And from what is potentially a promising situation for Bryce and McMillan, Katie could be left with quite a difficult shot. And Bryce's ice shot, certainly.
Try and update you on the other games out there as we get some scores in.
Absolutely, we have
try and keep you posted.
In this group, the other game in this group, as we see that double was not quite worked out maybe the way you thought.
Blue lies 1.
Blue may lie 1, and I think if they block up this right hand side of the sheet, it's
because Callum spun one over the other side.
Yeah. The other games that are on in this section, we have Blair against Stewart's. That's Lucy Blair and Mark Taylor. Then we have Kinnear and Bryce. Then we see the defending champions on sheet D, Ross White and Sophie Jackson. Then it's Adam Kerr and Molly Keane. And then we
Hamish
Gallagher playing against McFadgen. That's Duncan
McFadgen and Leanne McKenzie. Yeah.
Who's Hamish Gallagher's partner? I'm just going to find that out for you. I think the Stewart team is Erin Stewart and Sam Teasdale. And the Gallagher is playing with Katie Jackson.
And Lucy Blair's playing with?
Lucy Blair's playing with Mark Taylor.
Yeah.
So in fact...
so some interesting lineups.
Very interesting. I think the next game that will feature will be Ross White and Sophie Jackson playing against Hamish Gallagher and Katie Jackson. So it's a sister clash.
That's
the next
round.
Or 2 rounds.
2 rounds time in this section.
Yeah. So that's a good shot there from Katie. It does give Millie a lot to think about. I don't know if there is a shot here for more than one. What do you think, David?
I don't think you can shift the blue, can you? Blue will lie one just now. Can you chip a yellow in?
You might be able to chip a yellow in past that guard.
Just come around and tap your own yellow.
They looked like they were eyeing up this blue on the left hand side of the sheet. So
blue onto yellow onto blue.
Yeah. I think that's just for one though.
For a one.
Depends how far the yellow will go, I suppose.
It could go wrong. I don't know if they could hit too thick. Would they knock it into the button? There's a clip out on the other hand. It's really tough.
Oh, I wouldn't fancy that one. That's not just because of my
on my intern, and I would just sorry, it's actually not on.
He's playing a big weight here. Callum sweeping a little bit. He's now switched to sweep for the curl.
Raise.
Let's see how it goes. It's a very good shot. Now, is that for 2 perhaps? Oh, maybe a measure. I think it would be 1. I think we'll wait for official confirmation on the scoreboard. So, what have you learnt so far about mixed doubles, David? Having commentated on one game.
Well, I've learned that commentating is quite difficult, especially sitting next to you. But it's because we're not actually looking at the sheet of ice. We're looking at screens and monitors and flashing lights, and it might as well be on a Boeing 747 as far as I can see.
Only if we were going to Las Vegas.
but what makes it so different is the start of the game. So
yes.
The free guard zone is a completely different concept here. Mm-hmm. The fact that if you blank an end, you lose the hammer is another very different concept.
Yep.
And never having played mixed doubles.
Okay.
Never having played mixed doubles, but having watched a bit of it now.
Yep.
It's a very different game to get your head around, and I think obviously these young players are gaining experience of that, which is interesting to see. You need to give them more opportunities for that, because it's certainly become a most successful Olympic event. But it was interesting to talk to you in the first session. You were talking about first halves and second halves and how different. Maybe you want to expand on that a little for the listeners for this session.
I think that's to do with the power play, which of course we'll come to talk about. It's a bit of a miss from Millie Smith there. I'm not sure if the ice has maybe quickened up a little bit just as they've broken down the pebble. Yes, as I said in the first half, I was lucky enough to be a coach at the World Mixed Doubles last year. We talked a lot about the first half and the second half and the difference, because normally the 2 power play ends would happen in the second half, and the first half was all about setting yourself up for that and putting yourself in that position. So I think that's what we would certainly try and do. And looks like Katie's come up light here and over curled. Yeah. This is the, and actually what I found more on the bad end of it 2 weeks ago when I played at the CCT was that with mixed doubles, if you miss 2 shots in a row, you are in serious trouble. And again, it's 2 of 5, so if you miss 2 of the 5, then that is suddenly very different to missing 2 of 8.
interesting insight talking to some of the players before we played too was that, especially if you're playing the first stone and the fifth stone, you never have two consecutive stones, you know.
Yep.
And if you don't get your weight, it can be a struggle for the whole game to find your weight.
Yep.
Maybe it's, you know, the middle player playing three stones, the burger as you describe it, maybe has an advantage there. And we were having an interesting discussion about where we put your power player, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for the end of the game, I think having the power player in the middle, is a good move.
Well, something that perhaps hasn't been experimented with as much because the format is so young is moving that player in that first half and that second half. You know, we talked a little bit about the Russians, what they would do in terms of power play. And again, that's a heavy weight. I'm not sure if maybe coming this other direction, things are slightly different. The players haven't quite cottoned on to it.
Didn't notice that particularly in this morning's game. You know,
no, they're on the same sheet.
Same sheet of ice. Looks like the same swing. Or maybe just as you say, practice first end, second end gets a wee bit quicker.
Yeah. This is another miss. Things are quite difficult.
A miss light, really.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to get in here, actually.
Now you realise we're competing with another screen in the ice rink. I can hear in the background the lilting tones of Kenneth Edwards.
It's no match for you, David.
Is that can't be world men's? Is
no, I think it must be a replay.
It
must be a replay they've put on.
So we'll have to talk louder.
I could just turn them down
or off.
This is now, but there is a big swing on this ice. I mean, I've talked about it, but it is actually quite difficult, I think, for Rankus and Katie to get in here. Katie's talking to the umpire. I'm not sure if something has gone wrong. I'm not sure if somebody's throwing a stone out of order or... No, seems to be. So they have elected to penalise cards. I think sometimes teams might forget that they can actually hit.
I think that's maybe what happened here, because actually I still find it a bit difficult to know which is the fourth played stone.
Yes.
And then of course you can hit. And that's a big...
that's
an extraordinary result.
I'm sure that was plan A.
Plan A. So yellow's now sitting one buried behind a corner, or half buried.
Yep.
Plenty cover.
But it has opened things up for Bryson McMillan, which I think was key with Hammer. They were looking in a bit of trouble there. Callum, it looks, is elected to come round this blue that's nearest to the centre line.
If he does it well with his first, looks good.
I guess we'll have an opportunity to follow him down.
High.
A little bit high, a little bit heavy.
High.
Katie's warming her broom up to sweep. It's not.
They're not be so pleased with that. It's not really hidden. They can hit and check across and still lie.
I think I might just draw around. Maybe I'm just too aggressive.
Yes, at all the wrong times I've been here. But, I think I'd be playing a check over of the other's blue.
We are, of course, assuming that it was one yellow. Unfortunately, they still haven't updated the scoreboard, despite the reminders before the game. But yeah, it's not up in the scoreboard, that's what I'm saying. Angus has made a hit here. That seems to be on the nose. That's quite a good result. Would have wanted to move a little bit. And just for viewers at home, that is not Anna Hasselborg, despite the shirt that Millie is wearing. That is, in fact, Millie Smith. There may have been some people thinking that we had a Lee from Korea on the sheet the last time, but that was in fact Ewan Gao.
Yeah, we could have had the Olympic champion here.
We could have. Olympic champion, European and world silver medalist. No less.
It's not a bad CV.
No. I don't know. Has she won the Perth Open though?
No. No. She'll never have experienced the Perth Open.
This is Millie Smith with her last stone for her team this end. It's a little bit high of line.
It's really high.
Oh goodness, I don't think that's going to make any contact at all. It breezes by.
So
this will be nearly a free draw for two. I think the path they have to come is it's the opposite turn that Katie played at the start of the end, but or the opposite side of the sheet, but it's the same side of the sheet that she made her draw on the first end.
See if they've mastered the weight, because they struggle with the first few stones.
They do have one to come to, but you'd want to make this by yourself.
You've got the full 8 foot. Katie's left-handed.
And what difference do you think that would make?
I think it's quite, especially at mixed doubles for some reason, because you're not always thrown to a rush, and obviously starts on the hack on the other side of the sheet. So, in some bits of the sheet she gets an earlier swing, and in other pieces the angles steeper, so it's a later swing. So
I guess they're sweeping this all the
it's
way.
An early swing.
I guess they're sweeping this all the way. Let's see if he can bring it in.
You've got to get a bite of the white, a bite of the white, a bite of the white. Go man, go Angus.
Go on Angus. Oh, that is close. We maybe get our first measure of the...
there's nothing like a good measure.
Oh, I love a good measure.
Do you think they'll do it clockwise? So. Clockwise? Apparently you've got to do it clockwise.
Yes. Oh,
but it's a very severe reprimand.
Are they going to measure? Well, I hope we
Please
have a measure.
Measure.
Go on. Oh, there we go. Callum
did the
measure. So it's one for sure. And here comes
the umpire now.
Our umpire, Hazel Wales, our game umpire.
I didn't know you were in first name terms with the umpires, Rowan.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wales.
Thank you, that's more appropriate.
Here she comes.
She's going clockwise.
Absolutely. All our umpires are incredibly well trained.
That may be your experience.
We do have an excellent umpire education programme headed up by Fiona Harfield at the Scottish Curling Office.
I think I may have missed 2 of those classes actually.
Oh, I think more than 2.
One on measuring.
Yes, and here we go. Here it comes to the other stone, and will she gestures for the camera? Thank you.
Yellows in.
That was yellows.
So it's 1.
It was 1. And Angus,
so a chance missed.
Yes, Angus will be wishing that he had Niall Ryder or Mark Watt from his under-21 team.
That's a very sexist remark to make.
Pardon? In what way? I was merely alluding to his teammates. But that does bring up an interesting point. Would Katie have perhaps got up after that stone and joined in with the sweeping?
Yeah.
Could she have done that? That perhaps could have made a difference.
She could have done that. And
given how close it
was. On a draw, it's relatively easy to do, you'd imagine.
I think so. Yeah. I do that with my mixed doubles team. I will jump up and join in, whether it makes any difference. I suppose I'll have to leave for my partner to tell you, but
I'm just glad you make the effort.
Oh yes,
it's all about effort these days.
Do you know, actually, I was once called one of the best sweepers in Scotland.
You were like a misguided soul. And of course we cannot mention any more about that.
No.
We're duty bound.
We are duty bound until May.
Until May, apparently.
Until May. So watch this space.
I'm bursting to tell people, but I'm not allowed to.
No.
So that's
just to whet the appetite. There was a special
visitor
to the Scottish Curling Office, but that will come out of the wash, as they say in May. Katie now coming. Oh, this is a big swing. It's a very big swing. And a little bit heavy, and it will slip. Just slip back, and I think that was something that I
left-hander.
Yep. I talked about that a lot in my own mixed doubles team, and just with some of the players here about how important line is. And I know that sounds perhaps silly, but if that is half a stone or a stone to the left,
and this is where I have this discussion that should you be thrown to a rush?
Yeah.
On a draw, especially, you know, when you two come and sweep your own one.
Yep.
And you know, and are they actually really recognising what the ice is doing? Because are they remembering exactly where they're through?
Well, it's hard to.
Normally does for
very hard to. Yeah. And a little bit light from Millie, but as we talked about in the previous game, I think a little bit light is better than a little bit heavy. Sure. Once you're past that tee line, you can't bring stones back into play or back up. If you're enjoying this coverage, please do let us know. We are available through all the usual channels. We've got Twitter at Scottish Curling, and through Facebook as well. Or if you do know our email addresses too. I am Owen at scottishcurling.org. That's EOIN. And David, yourself?
David R. The R's important.
David R.
At
Scottish Curling.
Yeah. We don't want Dave Jones being pestered.
Oh no, we wouldn't want Dave Jones.
No.
I think he's up. He's having a nice weekend in Elgin this weekend. It was the Murray International Bonsby that was going on.
That's right. Yeah.
I unfortunately couldn't attend despite being defending champion. Just to drop that.
Was there a small entry last year?
Oh, yes, very. No, there actually wasn't. It was a very excellent competition. It was great.
So
we had
that
some
wreck on the centres. It's kind of like the first end when a lot of centres.
the last end, yeah.
The last end, sorry.
Yeah. Callum is persisting with the draw here. He could hit.
He's round, and it's good weight.
Is he going to tap his own? It looks like he is. He is lying shot though. And this is when if I were blue, I would be content with this drawn game. Whereas I think that perhaps Callum missed an opportunity there to peel the two at the front. He wouldn't have been shot, but it would have left a situation where there were two yellows in the house and one blue.
Yeah, and he'd control the top of the 8th.
Yeah, and again that's perhaps forgetting or not electing to hit more readily than you perhaps would in the 4-person game. But I suppose you're Callum's team coach. Would he be quite aggressive in his calling of the game anyway?
Yeah, aggressive, which I like to see now.
Yes.
But peeling the guards, you could argue might have been the right shot there.
Yeah.
Double peel, which he could do. Callum has the power to do that.
Big finish here from Angus.
He just flips the blue now. Callum's in a good position now.
Yes.
Through that one missed shot.
Yes.
They make that shot, Callum's not in a good position.
Yes.
And that's just, you alluded to that earlier, that one miss, or especially 2 in a row misses, you're gone.
Yes.
One miss there, Callum now freezes, he's looking good, because Angus is the real problem with the Blues.
Yeah, and we talked in the last game as well about about end planning and that kind of thing. But I think you need to be really ready, and I said it in the last game, you really need to be ready to change gears very quickly. And now, as you said, with that one miss, that all of a sudden was like that. I think if you have 2 clean misses in an end, you'll be very lucky to only give up a 3. And that's the high stakes that we're talking about.
Just this isn't it, we've been watching maybe weight control being a bit dodgy at this end, certainly the first few stories, and we're talking about the normal timing measures we use to assist that, tee to hog measures, hog to hog measures, and how much harder they are to do when there's only you and your partner and you don't have 2 guys to support you.
Everything is harder. I mean, I kind of joked with after the mixed doubles CCT. I think he
lies 2 actually.
2, which is good.
And it's a good
there is
setup.
an opportunity. I'm not sure he could get past the one at the top of the 12.
On the other hand, you mean? I think it's tight to do that.
Yeah. I was chatting with my teammate and my coach after the CCT, and we talked about all the things that we need to keep in mind with timing and plan Bs and sweeping and line call and that. And then I said, it'd be quite nice if there were 2 other players to help us out with this, wouldn't there? Which goes to show that difference.
Yeah, and we talk a lot of our young teams are very familiar with tee to hog split times to help the player. And of course the downside of that is quite a short timing, so there can be some operator error. They're actually really good at that now. But there's a bit of release issue comes in.
There's Angus with another run, and he's done quite well there. I think there probably is still 2 yellow, and there's a
Callum's
big
taking a stone off that came off the barrier. That's fine. There's a big pocket now, Owen.
Absolutely, if Callum can get in there.
And I think yellow lie 2 still. I think so. So I think Callum favours moving the blue and checking in, which gives him an opportunity later. It's either that or just freeze the pocket. Top button, they can't get in. So don't be shot too early. So I think he's called to draw to the top of the button, Owen.
Okay.
Rather than come right in.
I think that's a
which
sensible.
allows them to finish on top of you.
Yes.
Or the other thing they talked about was chipping the right 4 blue and chipping in, which maybe gives them an opportunity of a really big end.
I was about to say doing that does open the door to a 6.
If things worked out. But I think he thinks it's unlikely to be a miss, so he's trying to come top button. I think that was the final thing, top button, and then ask Angus a question, because Callum then has a possibility of maybe moving the blues.
He still could, and I think, you know, he is looking good. He doesn't need to be incredibly greedy. You know, a 3 is still an excellent result at this stage.
So here he comes.
Looks a little bit
over curling.
heavy. Maybe just coming in a little bit.
That's not bad.
Very good weight,
it's
actually.
Not, actually. Because there is still a shot off the wing blue now.
I was going to say Angus can come off the blue though as well.
Yeah.
Katie as well.
If he's chipping his own out, he has to be careful.
Yeah.
Because there is a shot down the other side, I think, to move the blue.
I think there is a shot right to this back yellow though. You need to be careful.
Is. If you nail this back yellow.
Yeah. Oh, they look like
Callum's struggling to score more than 1.
Angus has indicated the hit and roll in, and there is a lot to roll into. They probably will bounce up a little bit.
As long as you get the inside,
yep.
you think they can't go wrong.
Famous last words.
Absolutely. and depending what, I presume you'll play the out turn at it, so it should pull.
It's Katie.
Should finish.
She.
The big pun. Katie's left-hander though might make a difference. What ice do they take? No brush in play. Consider it the first.
Apologies if there's any technical difficulties going on at the minute. But
normal service resumed, though.
I hope so.
Would you stop pressing the wrong button?
Don't blame me. It's not always me.
I don't even know what happened.
Well, it was an excellent shot from Katie McMillan.
Did you hit and checked in?
She's hit, checked in,
Thank
rolled
goodness
up.
you're here, Ron. It's the first time I've ever said that.
I was about to say that.
Goodness you're
there still is the potential here. Millie's eyeing it up. Is there
so
a hit for a 3 or a 4? Maybe even a 5.
Short angled raise. Both blues go. Do they?
Let's find out.
For the second time this morning, I'm on the edge of my shift.
I'm sure there'll be
Are
many
you getting many communications from the outside world?
Yes, a few. I'm getting a few. There's a lot of compliments for our coverage.
You're kidding.
No. Unfortunately, no questions yet. If you do have any questions,
just easy ones.
No. I want a hard one for you. In fact, as I found out earlier this season, I'm in fact sitting beside a Scottish champion. I didn't even realise.
Yeah, but that's before computer records. Actually, it was before computers.
Oh yes.
So nobody else remembers.
You are a master.
No, I've never played Masters. I'm never going to do it. Like I said, I was never going to play seniors and succumbed. I'm never going to play Masters.
No, that's on the record.
If I go anywhere near a boat, throw the way oars or something. Is that not what it was said?
Yes, we said, if you see me anywhere near a boat, shoot me. Is that not what it was? Then 4 years later,
Steve Redgrave.
Yeah, 4 years later, he was winning Olympic gold.
Yeah. Well, if I go anywhere near the Masters curling,
although it's an excellent competition, of course.
New sponsor. We're hoping for a new sponsor. Yeah. Actively seeking a new sponsor, so we might be able to.
Here comes this angled raise, and it looks close actually. She's just caught one, so that is a steal.
Steal of 1 blue.
As we saw in the last.
Or it might be another measure. We couldn't have 2 measures, like buses. It's like buses.
Oh no.
You wait forever and then 2 come along at once.
Let's find out.
I think it's a measure. No. So
I would assume that was.
we're thinking blue. Well, you've already put it up one, so.
Well, no,
you haven't
I've typed it in.
You haven't pressed
updated.
enter yet. I mean,
No. I'm being coy.
so still we think.
We shall see who
Calvin
goes
Miller
first.
in deep
So let's
discussion.
see. Angus is setting up the stones, and it seems that he's putting the yellow one out, which would mean that they would be going first. Which would mean that it was actually a score of one.
Means yellow scored.
Okay. So that must be one. So looks to be, the scoreboard looks to be updated. They've kicked into gear there, and they've put.
So you wouldn't consider using your power play of your Bryce McMillan?
At this stage, no.
Why is that?
I think you want to save it for the end of the game. You don't, there's a long way to go.
You don't use it in an aggressive way then? Do you use it as a defensive ploy?
I think you can use it aggressively, but in the second half of the game. You use it to finish things off rather than to get a lead. I think at 2-1, I don't see a need to use it. Especially if, as we see, they're capable of scoring and scoring quite well. See Millie Smith there, just a little bit heavy, tapping that back.
She's behind the tee.
Yeah. What that achieves for Bryce McMillan is that there is space now created in this house. And that was one of the big things with Hammer, that you need space to try and score. Katie is over curling again, and I think perhaps with the, not sure if it's the lefty perspective
I think
or
it makes a
something.
bigger difference than they recognise. And also we can't see how she's releasing it. Maybe she's a little soft.
That was with her intern, so you would expect that to curl a little bit more.
You would expect that to curl more, and for the right-hander off the same hat, you would take a lot more ice.
Yep.
And maybe that's just what's catching them out.
Yeah, perhaps. Callum and Millie will probably try and just half-check this yellow in the house, if not come
Actually
right to it.
sets up well for blue now, because there's
There are corner guards
there's
in
a
play.
corner on
corner.
and one off the centre and one behind.
Yep. So all is not lost.
Sets up well for blue.
And I don't think that accomplishes much for Callum. I don't think that's what he would have wanted to do, certainly.
Trying to come through the hole. I think they're just right-hander, just a wee bit high on ice. I think this side with the left-right combination's catching them out.
Just to update you on some of the other scores that we have going on at the minute, and as you can see, there's some incredibly high-scoring games going on at the moment. Lucy Blair and Mark Taylor started off things with a 5 and followed it up with a 4, and they're very much in control there against Erin and Sam. See there 2-1 on our feature game. Then we have Ross White and Sophie Jackson with a strong 4-0 lead, although I would say that Adam Karen and Molly Keane would still be in the game at that score. And then Duncan McFadden and Leanne have stolen a 5 to take a 6-1 lead over Hamish Gallagher.
Not sure that was the called shot, but it's opened our shot yellow, unfortunately. shots will allow Blues access to it.
Comes to play his second stone in the end.
They're trying to move the winner, aren't they?
Trying to move the winning shot.
Yeah.
There's it, yep.
The winner.
Oh, winner, sorry, he said winger.
Sorry, big one.
That's a very good shot, actually, really behind that corner.
I think they were probably trying to roll the other way.
Yeah, but I think
retain both, but that's okay.
Worked out.
Now this is interesting to see how much this swings, because we've noticed it's not swinging off the centre to the wings.
We'll see if Callum has been doing his homework.
Easy to over-ice this, I think.
Yeah, has Callum been doing his homework and watching the live stream?
Well, we can only hope. We said certainly that influence over for the last 4 years has it been falling on deaf ears, we ask. Interesting to see what weight he plays at, because he can't see a lot of this. But he can chip it.
No, I think that the yellow is blocking his way to that blue, so be interesting maybe if he even plays the yellow back onto it. But he did seem to be indicating a freeze. I guess he's standing interested, watching.
Noise on the inside, so it looks like he's going.
He's going to draw.
Freeze, yeah. Look at the ice he's taking anyway. I don't know how much this will swing. I think this will swing west and he'll be taking more ice, you know.
Yeah.
I think the tram lines might be a wee bit straighter.
Let's see, it's starting to move now. Millie's trying to finish it, and it is starting to move now off that centre line.
Moving big.
I wonder if it will straighten up just now, though.
It's just a little short.
Good
Good line.
short.
Perfect
That was
line.
Perhaps it's off that centre line is where it doesn't move us, but he was a little bit further out and then did catch that.
He came off the two yellows easily, actually. I thought you might hang high on them.
Yeah. With Angus's last, they're going to try and split the house and come in behind these blues. It's difficult because they're probably, or there may well be a double or an in-off from their own yellow onto a blue if they leave one in the house. Or they could elect for a freeze. What do you think they need to be careful of here with this shot?
Well, I think they're playing out turn round the back of the two yellows. Is that what they've called?
Yes.
So the biggest danger is leaving it high, I think, and exposed, and then you leave a double.
Yes.
If you put it tee high, I think you're good. But then they can freeze on top of it.
Well, Angus looking at his slide, he's actually coming the other side. I'm not sure if he's coming maybe wide around these, rather than coming into out. He's coming out to in.
Can't see necessarily.
Because as I often do, you can change your mind in the hack. Callum blocking off the sweeping there for Katie, but he does apologise.
Now there's a risk-reward shot then, is there?
Well, it looks like yellow is sitting second and third, so I don't think there is a tap back on both.
There's a tap
both on
both yellows.
Yeah.
Callum's actually looking at the outside one. Angles might be better because you tap it and roll in behind everything.
We could show you that angle, but unfortunately we would then maybe cut ourselves off. I'll maybe just put that up for the viewers at home. They can see it for a little bit, but they won't get our dulcet tones.
Yeah, so he sees 3/4 of the inside stone and all of the outside stone, favouring the inside one at the moment.
Hopefully you can hear us. It looks from our end that you can. And that maybe allows us to use all the angles available to us. This is, I think, yeah, seeing all this stone, I think, is probably the thing that swayed him in this direction. There will be a bigger swing coming down this line, though.
Quite like this, actually, because he has a slight margin to be high and hit it into the rings, whereas with the other one, if he's high, he misses the back.
And everything, yeah.
And the guard comes more into play.
So as long as he doesn't overcurl this, he should get some sort of a positive result.
We assume it will swing.
Yeah.
I don't know what weight he'll play.
Well, we haven't seen much here at weight.
When you see it from this end, he's seeing the whole stone in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he'll be control.
Yeah.
More than he'll be, but I think he'll be up more than.
Okay, they're having a long discussion in the hack here. The teams that this week aren't on time clocks, but the umpires will keep them moving should they lag behind. With Millie maybe having missed a hit or two, she
missed an out on that.
Yeah, which this is.
And this is another one.
Callum might be giving her a little bit of a pep talk.
Pep talk. just try and be positive about it, Millie.
Yep.
Look at the target. Slide well.
What goes through your mind in the hack, David? Dare I ask?
It's so rare I'm in the hack anymore because nobody will ask me. But no, I think it's really important not to think technical right now. Look at the target. Look at the target. Slide at the target. Slide and release.
It seems they have changed.
They've changed the shot. I must speak to them about that. That's just, and this just looks really high.
Yeah, it does actually.
Oh, a little flick. Oh, nearly flicked.
But that doesn't have the outcome that they wanted.
That to me smacks of indecision there, and there's such a lot going on between leaving this end or deciding and going the other end, and I'm never sure that's a good thing. Yep. Especially when we're not even throwing a target there, we're just throwing it down. Well,
I always when I do throw first and last in my team, and particularly on the last shot, when I leave the head at the kind of the head that I'm throwing to, when I leave that head down to the hack, I know what shot I'm playing, and that's when I start my kind of pre-shot process.
Well, I think that's what's important. And clearly, that was a completely different pre-shot routine there. Yep. With Callum on his knees imploring Millie to do something, and then we go. Another shot completely, and I'm not sure we even decided what the ice for it was. I'm saying we, I don't know why I'm saying we. I'm completely neutral as always.
All of us are on everyone's team. This draw is over curling.
Well, this could chip it in. Not good.
Not quite.
So that's
so it's another single.
Pretty scrappy end.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So blue, one for blue,
and at the halfway stage.
I think yellow will go power play now.
No, I don't think
I know you don't.
No.
But I'm going to urge them to go.
They're chatting.
Power play.
Let's see. They're having a think about it. Callum's.
You know how we were talking earlier about the influence of mixed doubles on people who've played, like Bruce Mount, a good example. Gene Aitken, who were such a good pairing.
So if I was Angus, by the way, just so. I would very promptly and very quickly set the stones up in the traditional format so they couldn't take a power play. But anyway, sorry.
If you were Angus?
Yes, so Angus is up at the far head setting up the stones, and
you don't want to go power play.
You don't want a power play, so therefore I would just put them in the centre and make them move them. It's just psychological. Sorry, on you go about the influence.
Well, we were talking about the influence that playing a lot of mixed doubles has on these shots that you play and the selection of shots you play and how we think it's really increased Bruce's confidence and his ability to throw down weights, taps, hacks, I suppose draws as well, but mainly, and how he's brought that into his four-man team with such great effect at the moment in the world.
Yes, I think it is bringing those type of shots to the fore, and perhaps improving them.
So we've now got a power play even though we didn't ask for it.
Yes, almost. Katie does wreck, which in this position now is really dangerous. Now yellows do have one corner guard, certainly one off the centre, and they have the hammer, so we do revert to a more traditional setup.
N5 against second half game. If you're yellow now, I think you're bringing these corners into play.
Yes. Because on the next stone, blue cannot hit, so they couldn't even run one of their guards or peel one off.
They can't move the short stone without risking taking it away.
Absolutely.
Which is really quite restricting compared to normal game.
You see how this line goes. It seems to be hanging quite...
Moving now.
It's moving
now. I'm trying to encourage it down the hill.
Does leave most of the stone exposed.
It's pretty good, actually.
It is good.
It's tough to get another one round that, though.
Yeah.
Come the other way.
Angus is going to try. Looks like he's coming from the centre line out to the wings to try and draw either in behind this yellow one or freeze onto it. Does look to be quite heavy.
If this moves, this could be perfect if it chips in and doesn't take the yellow. That's a good shot.
That's a very good shot.
No, it's still there though.
The interesting thing is, do you think Katie should have swept that to keep it on the face of that one rather than angling the way they did?
I'd have tried to. The trouble for Katie was she probably didn't know which contact she was going to make. Because that's tough when there's nobody in the head urging you on. If it had curled a little more and been shot in behind the yellow, I think it would have been really effective.
Yeah. Kind of betwixt and between.
Because Callum can chip it.
Yes. Or
Callum
move it at least.
He can chip it.
Callum's looks. It's high, but it is coming. It does seem to be good finish. There it goes now.
Chips and goes wide, it's perfect. Left it double. Not taking it out, actually.
Blue is third shot.
Blue beats the top 12 yellow, although it's available now to hit.
Yep.
Have they called freeze?
I thought they were looking at running the blue in. Running the blue corner guard in, but...
Surely they're making a play on the two yellows, either freezing them or doubling them.
I guess saw a lot of options from hitting the corner guard
Corner blue.
in. You could either peel it off and catch one of them on the way. It does look from his slide that it's some kind of a freeze. It's not particularly heavy weight.
I think they did call.
Maybe he's going to bump this shot stone back and just roll it.
Well, either that or just freeze in the clef, cuts them out, and then depends what happens after that. He's a bit hard.
He's coming now. She's going for curl. Will she switch back?
Now this is over at curling again, but this might be really. It's very like the shot 2 goals.
It's almost identical. Almost an identical situation that we were in. So
Callum freezes now.
Callum could freeze. He could.
The angle's good to chip it past the yellow.
Yep.
They freeze on top makes it harder depending where they finish.
Yep. Well, this is the difficult thing about mixed doubles.
And the argument, she could chip the blue now.
And make them do it again.
Well, actually, it might be quite good to chip the blue now because they would have to freeze an open stone then. That's what it looks like what he's chosen to do. He's chipping it out. Maybe get both.
Is he going to get both moving? Oh.
It's a good result.
Angus could freeze again.
Angus chose not to hit the yellows the last time. Will he choose to hit them this time?
Katie's certainly imploring him to do so.
Because if he chips that yellow back, it's hard to get the blue out.
Yep. There is a lot of backing there if Angus were to weld one in.
I might not want a shot once it's chipped.
Yep.
Actually, this could jam.
Yep. But I think even a nose hit jam isn't too bad for his backing.
He's line 3 against.
Yes. So I would be hitting something.
He's killing the front yellow stone.
It's quite easily plucked out.
He probably needs to try and hit and roll in.
So he's playing a kind of...
If he hits and lies open, Callum's making the play.
Seems to be playing a kind of heavy draw.
Katie's switch sides.
Trying to curl it a little bit, but we have seen it finish. This is now.
There's a hole for Callum. Oh my goodness. It's there. Put it through the hole. Check in. Live 3.
And they're walking that tightrope again.
To come.
Yeah. This hit would be perfect. It would
be nice to have a rushed aim at and 2 sweepers. As he's got to make do at this mixed doubles.
Did you fancy going down and helping?
I think it could make a big difference. This is where you've got to be precise about this, because
well, because they could tick that top yellow.
they're looking at putting it through the hole.
Yep.
Checking in.
The debate is, do you play it with enough weight that if you happen to catch one of the back ones, you'll still spill the blue, or do you play it at that control barrier weight?
I think you have to play it at control, because you're trying to check in, and we've seen it does finish a bit. Nobody's rolled hidden yet.
No. So what would you?
To the centre, and I'd be playing this at.
What would you
barrier
classify?
down.
What would you classify as a control weight?
Speed-wise.
Yes.
Well, we'd be playing a hack weight at 11, 12, hog to hog. A hack weight.
Nice slide there. He's maybe tweaked it a little bit out, but he's calling her hard. So it does look like it's going to catch the yellow. He's taking his own as well. Oh my goodness.
Now he's lying second only.
Oh well, that yellow and that blue are quite close. Are we going to end up with another match?
Number 60.
If you're Katie, she did make a nice hit in her last one, her last kind of final stone. Oh, what am I saying? I hit wanted to take her at the
No, just because this is what's.
Yeah.
But they're needing to protect that
Yes.
in some way.
Is that right?
Or chip the yellow and check across. You could.
Semes like they are going to guard. It looks like
they're
Angus,
gonna guard.
Angus is staying here to give her a broom.
Well, I
which
quite
is-
like that
is
idea.
interesting.
Now, maybe they've decided, because of what's happened.
Because of what's happened. She's maybe
And
overcurled a
remember,
few.
this is a left-hander on the right-hand side. This can swing like mad. If she's not out to the brush or slightly soft, this will take off.
So you like seeing this as a change?
I think this. I'm interested to see them do this, and I would like to talk to them after. Was this a deliberate thing? And I suspect it must be, because that's the first time they've done it.
Yes.
And it's a draw. Or
Yes.
guard.
Yep.
So Katie's maybe asked for some
Yeah.
real target.
So for when I play mixed doubles,
now
for
Angus
my-
is rushing out to help sweep and has taken a time.
Yes.
Took a time
Well,
here. Which
must have been a tee to hog, a long range.
So let's see.
With my first shot,
I think this is overcoming.
it does look like it's overcurling. So it could just be a case that they're not taking enough
When
ice.
I'm wrong, because it's still higher than that. But it is
Still high,
overcurling.
It is overcurling.
Now they should be sweeping it in the rings now. Well, actually,
That's
pretty good.
sat in a
I
good
thought that was
place.
going a lot further.
Yeah. So, as I say, in my mixed doubles team, when I throw the first stone, I always have a broom. And the reason we do that is because it helps us. So the first shot is pretty much going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be a draw to the top
Yeah.
four. So therefore, it helps us be able to map the sheet.
Correct.
And
Because
that's
you've got
why
a definite point
and
you
I
aimed
jump
at,
out.
and then if you didn't, well, obviously you'll save your tight or wide, but
But
you
my
then have a
partner can
measure
tell
of
me,
what that bit of ice does, which you can remember, hopefully.
I can try.
Or try to remember. Because again, there's only two of you out there. Normally you have four guys out there, and your lead often sees the common tracks.
Yep.
Often your front end can see the common tracks.
Yep.
But when there's only two of you playing, there's not that opportunity to have other people advise.
This is. Do you think that this
This is
there's
tough,
a tap
actually.
a tap
That
for
guard's
two?
actually really effective because, like we talked about, it's a tempter.
Yes, we talked about that in the
You
last
can
game.
easily jam this on, and if you jam this on, you might actually give away two.
We might have a measure.
Another measure.
We've only had
three
one.
measures and four ends. Extraordinary.
We've only had one.
The umpires will be exhausted.
Well, quite. It's away. It does look quite wide. I'm not sure what weight she's playing.
Switching. You're right.
Switching.
It's wide. It's
Oh my-
really wide.
It's really wide. It looks to be on this blue.
It's
Is it gonna
really
finish?
wide.
She might get a little rub off.
Oh.
Oh, she's moved it, but not enough.
Now that's Millie been
That is
wide three times on an
times.
out turn, I think.
Yeah, so that is a steal. So for the first time, Bryce and McMillan do take the lead.
Now power play, Smith Kinnear.
I would imagine so. Yes,
You think so now?
I would.
I'm delighted because I'm so
We're
desperate.
having a chat. I think.
I'm really keen on a power play.
We've seen two so far, so let's see if Callum gestures. To
It was
Angus.
interesting that
Yes,
the,
he has.
that the umpire mentioned in the pre-game briefing
Yes.
that you do not have to use a power play.
That's correct.
So in your experience,
Just
how many
asking
games?
for some clarification as to where the stone goes.
Because it goes above the tee line.
Front of the tee line. For viewers not familiar, the power play moves the stone.
Angus is
moves the stone to the half in the.
No, that
is incorrect. Hopefully, an umpire does jump in here to help, because
still
these
wrong.
stones are.
It should be above the tee.
It should be half in the 12, half in the 8, above the tee line. Oh, and I can see Jim Hogg jumping in.
Is Jim coming?
Jim is coming. Well done, Jim.
Where is he?
He's just
here he is.
He's coming into shot now.
Thank goodness Jim's here.
Thank goodness. And our umpires do a really
Not
great job.
only is Jim here, but he's paying attention.
Which is maybe more than the players are.
It just shows you how unfamiliar you are with the game, though, doesn't it?
And our umpires do a really great job. And
so I was going to add, just before we were rudely interrupted by the umpire and all that positioning, in your experience of games, how many times have you played a game and not used a power play? Or never thought you needed to use a power play? I mean, half the games you've played?
Personally, I try to take the power play every game.
Right. I
have played against opposition that do not use it. I was in a situation at CCT. We'll see here now. I guess this the whole way. It does look to be riding high, which was what we experienced in the last game. Starting to finish now. He has given up on that a little bit, which is a little bit.
It was maybe just very light.
Yeah, it was. There was one situation where I was, I think, 3 points down with 2 ends to come, and I very much expected the power play to come
from the opposition.
In fact, I was 4 points down with 3 ends to come, and I expected them to take their power play in the 6th end. They didn't. We stole a 1. We then 3 down in the 7th end without hammer. I expected the power play to come. It didn't. We stole a 2, and then all of a sudden we were 1 down without hammer, and I expected the power play to come, and it didn't. But they got a 1 and they won the game. So
what's the message? It's interesting because it seems to me there is a lot of dubiety about when it should be used, how early it should be used. Is it used aggressively or defensively? And you sound like you're thinking it's used to seal a game. If you're up at the end of a game, use it to seal another end. Which I'm sure is a sound thing to do. I just wonder about using it earlier.
I think the worry, and maybe it's just negative thinking, but if you use it early and it doesn't come off, then all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, my opposition has the power play and they can still use it.
I think that's something you've got to back and move on. But and it's a disappointing yellow there because they could have buried another one around us. And
this is very wide from Angus. It doesn't look to be coming. He's trying to sweep for the curl, but he is going to breeze past everything, it seems. And right the way through the house.
So we've seen a number of stones not executed just as well as they could have been in this game, eh?
I would agree.
Shots not made. It's hard to be sure of the tactics when you don't make the shot. Now, what will Callum do now? Callum and Millie, will they try to tap that yellow, you think?
I would. I think you want to put the pressure on as much as you can. You want to get, even if you're a little bit high and you push it in behind the corner guard, you're still sitting 2, probably 3 in the ring.
This is
2 behind cover.
In conventional curling, you'd be in a really strong position, wouldn't you?
Yes.
With the hammer, 1 buried, line 2. You'd be disappointed.
The split here would be really good.
Split and roll in behind the blues, chip the yellow across the rings.
Millie is sweeping this for some curl. It looks like it is running a little bit straight, but it is coming now.
It's a pretty good weight. It's going to move it deep.
That's a good result.
That's a good result. They can draw around everything, but they're leaving a yellow in the rings that could count against them if they do that.
Yes. I think at the minute, I think Katie is seeking some clarification from the umpire as to whether or not she can hit.
This is the 4th stone.
She can
hit with this.
As I'd said in the last broadcast, if you count the stones are in play, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we can make a fist and we can hit.
It's a very interesting.
It's an insight into my psyche, perhaps.
yeah, that's what some people would call it.
Yes. Interesting choice of hand here. He elected to play in to out. I don't know if I would have
that's done anything for that.
No.
I think Callum will bury around the game.
Well, exactly.
The danger stone now is that blue for Callum, though, that they can play around that blue at some point, and then they've got to try and move it. But
that would be an incredibly aggressive call.
I think this early, they will bury around the wingers again.
I certainly would. And you're asking your opponent the question. You have 3 stones buried behind a corner guard, 2 corner guards, in fact.
It's not daft to go around that blue. It's not daft to split the rings, because you put all three around that corner. One raise might move a lot, but it's a pretty long raise.
I was going to say it's a long raise, and it's a raised triple. I mean, if I'm leaving my opponent a raised triple, I'm feeling pretty okay.
Except when you watch modern play now, the raises are made with
Pinpoint accuracy.
It's incredible.
If he can get round
if they get
this
past this,
yes.
it's a big target now, and it's sticking out a bit, so they may even just freeze onto it, which would kill 2 stones.
A freeze would kill 2 stones. They could run something. Looks like from the position of the broom they are
I'm
going
not
to
sure
do
this
that.
is the right shot. I think you can freeze tap that and be really good.
But I wonder if he thinking if he opens this up, they're going to have to do something, and they're not going to be able to guard all 3 of these stones. He may be able to lift a double with the next.
Yep.
It is Katie's stone with the next though. He has peeled it off. So if you're blue, you have 1 to come. This isn't looking like a good end for you, is it?
I think we're in deep doo-doo. This is an important shot. If you get the angle or placement of this right, it's tough to take out more than 2, I would say.
Yes.
I don't think they want to. I think freezing on it's really a bit of a lottery. I would come top 8 where Millie's brush is now. I think it's good.
Millie's drawing quite a large circle on the ice there, giving herself
Very
a margin
sensibly.
for
Very
yes.
sensibly.
I meant it to go in this 8-foot position.
Callum wants to freeze the craft, so. And if you do that, maybe only 1 goes out if you do that well, actually. Well, the back one.
Well, I think 2
would have to go. The back yellow would go, depending on the
very
angle
left
it creates.
one. Yeah.
Still scoring a 4 here.
Some pretty
With
negative body language
we'll definitely
going
see
on
another
here.
power play then, I think.
Yes.
How
absolutely.
exciting! 2 power plays
So
in a
you
row.
can see Macmillan and Bryce there at the back of the sheet. They don't look like they have the most positive body language.
No, if they run strictly, their upper posture, body postures will be heavily criticised.
Top lines.
Not
lines,
good.
aren't they?
Not good.
And Millie is sweeping this in.
Weight looks good. That was an interesting angle, actually. I like that angle. Thank you very much, director.
Oh, you're welcome. And that's
Have they chipped
that's
it
a
back?
good result. I think that's really good.
So there's a line-up now that
Well, they
maybe
could
only
freeze.
1
Oh,
can
goodness.
go.
I think only 1 can go with a hit, but they could be tempted to the freeze.
But they should
here.
have, if they'd frozen with the last stone, I would have
Yes.
been. I think that would have been an option that they might have got out there and losing out.
Higher percentage
1 or
goal,
2 maybe.
perhaps. Yeah. We could end up with a 5 here, which
I think they could,
would be a big swing in the game.
because it's now Katie to play, isn't it?
Yes, this is the last stone of the end
Katie
for
to
that
play.
team.
You need. Blimey. She hits that one. She takes one. If she hits the back, then she'll go. And if she freezes, it's all or nothing.
Absolutely.
She knows hits the yellow. 2 go, I think, if she's got enough power in it.
Yes.
She can throw a big weight, Katie. She can throw a big weight. Update on the scores.
Absolutely.
McFadden 11, Gallagher 1.
And that has finished. They have come off.
Yes. Ross White's, they've just maintained their advantage, going 5 ahead against Adam. Lucy Blair's pulled away against Stewart. And there we go, just 1 removed.
Just
so
one away.
they've got a draw for 4. Yellows have a draw for 4, which is a big score at N6.
Yes. To go 3 up.
So there you go.
But
There you
even
go. There you go. Power play 4. Use it at the second end, man. Use it at the third end. The whole concept of this game is going to change for you sitting next to me. Maybe not for the better though.
Well, I'll use it in the first end against Canada. That'll really.
Well, only if you have the
really
hammer. And it's so rare you have the hammer at the first end. I think you'll probably not get that chance.
Wow. I am affronted. see Blair and Stewart 14-3. That game will end quite soon due to
who's losing
mathematical
again? You told me. Who's
Mark
losing?
Taylor.
Mark Taylor. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, that's an interesting combination.
They played the CCT as well. They played the Dumfries CCT 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Millie's draw is on her way. She does have
Lucy's
lots of
been
backing.
skipping her own team this year. Mark's been playing Luke Carson's team
Indeed.
very well.
Yes.
Slightly disappointing Scottish for them. Having had a really good season, winning the EJCT at Braehead.
Yes, they did.
Done really well.
And that's a successfully made draw for 4 by Millie. So that is a really effective power play for that team, and that will give them a 3-point lead. I expect that we will now see a power play in response by their opposition, and that was a really good use of the power play, David, wasn't it?
Well, actually, the first stone against the power play killed it. You know, trying to play the freeze and coming up short.
Yep.
That was a really, really bad error, because it allowed them to capitalise on the corner guards.
Callum now is asking questions again about the placement of the
Well,
stone.
for goodness sake, he's such a slow learner. I mean, the umpire's been on
Told
to
him
shoot.
once.
I mean, ridiculous. Wait till I see him about
I was
that.
going to say, his team coach need to have a word.
Well, they've got it right.
Good. It's because Angus is a quick learner.
Callum's doing actually.
So what we may see here actually is my favourite shot in mixed doubles.
The tick.
The tick.
The tick.
So what Millie may try to do here, you cannot remove any stone that is in play. So what she will try and do is to catch the high side of this yellow corner guard, push the corner guard into the rings, and roll her shooter out.
Okay, now let's talk about that, because there's 3 up.
Yes.
So what's the alternative called to ticking it? Freezing it,
You could freeze,
or you could throw a centre guard,
or you could draw the
or
top
you could
four.
draw the button.
Yep.
So the tick
Yes.
allows you to open out that blue, and they can't bury another one behind it. Is the point?
Yes.
Which is the risk of losing a big end.
So you're almost forcing them to use a stone to guard it again.
Yes. So when you're up, ticking would be although it's probably the toughest of the 4 options.
It's a very tough shot. They have thrown the draw here, and it looks like it's coming up short as a centre guard.
They may be called tight centre.
They may have.
It's difficult for us to know what they actually call
Yes.
it, but it's a good shot. Now Angus is thinking it
do
going
not
round
like
the corner.
I'm gonna disagree with you there. I don't like a centre guard. I think you're 3 up. Put one in the rings if you're going to draw on that line. I don't think a centre guard does you any favours.
But they can't move your centre guard at the moment.
Yes, they could move your one in the house.
You go round your centre guard with the next one.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what they do.
They're going round the corner.
Yes,
which
you go round the centre.
Would expect.
See, this looks like
this is hanging high again.
It looks to be a much better weight though.
Hanging high.
From
Look, it's
KD,
just
so
not
should
finishing. Now.
I think it's the side of the sheet.
No, I think
the other side was finishing.
Can't hit them.
Nope. So we cannot hit until there are 5 stones in play, or until the 4th thrown stone at the end. So you would imagine that Angus...
If you threw the centre, you'd imagine they're going to go round it with the next one.
You would hope so. You would hope for a consistent train of thought. Is that a lot to hope for with Callum?
You'd stop picking on Callum, okay?
Why, are you able to do that yourself?
He's wrecked on the guard.
He's just back. No, he's not used to having
I'm sorry, Callum.
He's not used to having a power sweeper like Millie Smith in the team.
Well done. That's
really well swept.
That's not. There's still blue or line 2.
Blue or line 2. So
there's one very open.
Yes.
For hitting, and the guard's relatively long, but there's so little swing round the guard. I don't know if you could chip that out.
It's interesting. They are. Yeah, I quite like this split.
We're improving this blue. Chip it in behind the centre, chip to the wing,
or chip the blue to the wing, and you roll
either way.
The centre. Yep.
So it's a
nice
split.
Yep.
Lie 3.
Yes,
hopefully. And then the singleton round the guard's not helping Callum.
Yeah. They would be hoping at the minute to score 3 in this power play, so they could be timed
for sure.
and then try and stay the
If they get this right, if they get 2 buried behind the corner, depending what happens in the middle,
David Aitken, who coaches, or coached anyway, Bruce and Gina in the mixed doubles team, he once said to me that in mixed doubles, steals of one just happen. So they'll be hoping for that as well. So they are lying 3, not quite the outcome that they wanted, overcurled a little bit, and Callum is going for a double, which I think is a sensible call. He can get that one at the back of the rings. I'm not sure if he looked at the thin first or the other one as plan A, but he'd be hoping to move some stones here and there, a few stones.
The other thing is if he's a little bit tight, he rolls in.
Yep. The one thing he wouldn't want to do here, I think, is nose.
No, he doesn't want nose. And this is where you don't have.
And this is quite big weight. This is.
And this is where you don't have the advantage of sweeping control. You know.
I think that was too big a weight to play that shot at. I don't really see the
first time he's
advantage
played it, so it's a bit of a lottery to know what it would do.
Yep. I understand that. Yeah, there is some danger here with the back in. If this angle is slightly wrong, he could fire this yellow back onto the blue at the back of the 8 foot. But he may just have to take that risk.
He has to almost nose hit or check out a little bit. If he checks out too much, he doesn't lie.
But if he does roll to the left hand side of the picture, then Callum and Millie could just wrap around their centre that they have, and that's that
then becomes a hindrance.
Absolutely. So it may be good to take that one out.
Why doesn't Angus draw around?
I think he's trying to bring the others.
Why not draw? Well, maybe you're trying to bring a stone into play that's not going to give you an advantage.
Yep.
Draw around the centres now.
Make them
stop
do something.
Them drawing around the centres.
Yep.
And count your 2 that are behind the centres with another one.
Yep. I knew there was a reason you were here. Very good call. Very good call. Looks a little bit high of line at the moment. They have come into out, which he'd done before. It's not a good result. It's very strange.
Callum forced a one night. Draw round. They draw round. You draw round.
You draw round. You tap it. That's great.
I think actually you try. I don't think you need to tap it. You try and come to it though.
Yep.
Freeze it so you can't be chipped down.
Right.
They freeze on top of you.
And a steal at this stage could be the
fatal.
end.
Fatal.
Yeah. He does seem to be going for a tap. It's like the ice that Millie is giving him.
Unnecessary. And possibly slightly risky, because if you ever play this and miss it, they dumb round and they're freeze on again.
Yeah.
If you put this in the rings, half round the yellow, it's tough for them to lie.
Callum likes the weight. He is sweeping in. That looks to be finishing
all over the centre stone.
It's just down on weight, really. He has pushed it in probably for shot.
I think he has pushed it in for shot. That's weight control again, maybe.
I just don't think it had the weight.
Callum's in turn, left 4. Notorious.
No, you're broadcasting that.
Sorry,
opposition.
I've told the world.
You've told the world.
I'll apologise to
the hundreds and thousands of people watching.
I'll apologise to him later. So, yellow lies, you think, Owen? Yeah, yellow lies. So the best they can hope now for is.
Well, we have 2 games finished already. So Stuart and Blair have finished, and Gallagher and Fagin have finished, and White Cairn is 6-1. So I think we definitely picked the most competitive game to stream this evening. This afternoon.
That's now one. That's short now. So we need to refreeze on top. The force 1. Why would you come the other handle? Why are you going on the other handle, Callum? Come the same handle. You've just seen them do it. Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm commentating.
Yes.
I'm not just exploding at the end of the sheet. Playing a known shot, playing a known line.
I think if you do come down this left-hand side, oh goodness.
I think this is risky. I mean, they're going to what's the worst they're going to lose? A 2 now, but that still makes it a close game. So
two there under pressure.
They freeze the blue. They can't lose. They can only lose a 1.
Yep.
I'm not sure why they're not following the line they've just seen.
And I think as well, if they come the line that Angus had played, and they do stay a little high, as long as they get to the inside of it,
exactly,
they might be able to chip it out. They might not hang around.
Whereas you have to make this perfect, or they've got a shot for 2. And especially as we collect on the first attempt.
Yes. Saying we again.
We. It's the royal we. 1.
Millie is sweeping her own stone here. Callum giving encouragement for line. Does seem like it is over curling as well. They could tap it in for shot and be well positioned for the steal here. This is.
Well, there's no way that was the cold shot.
That wasn't the cold shot, but it has worked out quite well for them.
So I'll not be able to say anything now.
They are. I'm wondering if there's a angled double for 2, perhaps. They're looking between the blue at the back and the yellow on the left hand side of the stone, which is shot. So they were able to fire that yellow in. Katie, of course, plays second for Beth Farmer's team, so I think her hitting is. You don't? If you fire that yellow back on, as Angus has just indicated, do you think you'll be able to block that one out?
Yeah, if you take both, if you do a slash double, back blues both count them. Yeah, you're probably right. I think the back blue beats the left hand yellow.
Well, we may have a measure.
Spoiled by this, isn't it?
Absolutely. Katie's maybe not sure about this. She's.
I think it's worth taking on.
I think you have to at this stage.
It's at a draw for 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is not a cinch either.
No. And drawing for the 1-2 down, trying to steal it 2. Mixed doubles, these things do happen, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, depending on the first 2 stones. The setup
that's
could make all the difference.
Yeah,
if you get the first 2 right, they're chasing you.
Yep. If you put one on the top of the 4 and they tick off it or something, you tap it in, and then all of a sudden things are set up really well. We'll see what judging where Angus is. Angus is on the left hand side of the sheet, so I think they are going for the angled.
Left hander.
I certainly like it.
Angle favours this, I think, because it's not going to swing so early.
She's away.
Good slide and release, but looks on.
She's calling on Angus. Does look to be.
Wasn't that far away.
That's
actually.
a steal of 1.
Steal of 1. So that makes it 7-3.
7-3. 1 end to come. Will they continue?
Should be home, but
see if they continue. I mean, with Hammer, of course, Switzerland in the World Championship final last year scored a 4 with their last end to beat Canada in the final. So we'll see if they'll be able to do something similar.
So if Millie nails this, it pretty well kills the 4, I think.
Absolutely.
So where does she really want to be? I mean, even if she freezes this now, it should be slightly deeper than we'd want. It makes it tough for them to score 4.
I wonder with this shot whether it's worth playing tight ice so that the tick comes in, opening up that centre line. But if she does put this in the top of the 4,
it seems if you put the tick in, you create 2 corners for them with a hammer. So I wouldn't be that keen on that.
looking.
I like that shot.
And we can see here from that view that she's pretty much eliminated that blue from counting and has really restricted the score.
Unless they chip that yellow, which means they chip open, and then you can be blasting it.
At this point, you want to freeze. I think you want to kind of angle freeze, so maybe release them.
I agree. You can't chip open. If you chip open now, I don't think you can.
Katie coming on her out turn this time. And sweeping in looks to be setting up quite a nice angle.
It's a good shot.
Maybe rolled a little bit,
but it's at least in behind the yellow.
Yep,
it's hard to remove.
As Millie indicated, Callum will want to end up here on the
I think Millie will come
side.
the same hand and probably chip the blue out, or freeze the blue on the other hand. Sorry, Callum will. Yeah, they're going the other hand anyway.
Callum setting up for this draw. And I think if he was short, would be good here.
Well, he's protecting his back stone.
That is true.
And the centre's still on. But I don't think he's intending to do that. I think he's trying to come right in.
Looks like it's hanging quite wide at the moment, but it's all coming in now. Callum coming in hard for line. Is this going to over curl? He wants to keep this angle. He wants to keep it high, which Millie's managed to do with great sweeping.
That's 3 in a row, really good weight.
Yes.
And you think some of the ends would have struggled to find weight.
Yeah, they really have. And the first end, of course, was superb.
Very good end.
For weight control.
Was it the second or the third with it?
Both.
I'm trying. Both second was
Yeah.
the second.
Angus will attempt to come down the same side that Katie did.
There's so many stones so close together that it's tough to see how you can score a 4 out of this end. Now, obviously, one angle could make a difference, but
yes.
Now this is all over the centre. Oh, it's quite a result.
Oh dear, that's not what he would have wanted. With 3 yellows in the forefoot, it's very difficult to see how blue can.
And now what does Callum do? Do they guard up now?
It's difficult because do you guard or do you rip? Because traditional curling,
you would probably rip.
Yeah.
But how many stones are left now?
There are 3 stones. So currently there are 3.
So we're actually down to the third player's last stone.
Yes.
Which is late in the end.
Yep. I think if you do open,
See, they're going guard, or I like
just
that
piling
call.
another one in.
I just like that call. I don't think they're going deep in the rings. They're probably going top 8, top 12.
They have switched sides.
And if you protect any raise, which you can do by just coming inside the yellow, inside the blue, it's really tough to see how you can move. And you're banging a yellow in.
Yeah, I think Angus is going to give it a go, which is good, but I would imagine that should the shot not come off, we may well see early handshakes here. Without losing a blue?
It's possible. I think you use the back blue, and you also leave a yellow at the top 4.
Yeah.
Because you have to take it across the face a little bit.
Very tricky. This is coming here to quite a firm way. Oh, Katie indicating he was tight all the way. He did tweak it out, so let's see. He may have tweaked it out too far. And he has just peeled off that top.
So I think we replace that.
I wonder at this stage.
You have to play on because there's 2 blues in the rings. But we'll
maybe
replace.
Maybe I'm a realist.
Replace that. And
blues now do need to score with every stone that is available to them, which is
and move 3 yellows
tricky.
out.
Yep. Something we maybe haven't mentioned that I've just noticed on Callum is he is sliding with the broom that he sweeps with, whereas that's not what he would usually do.
No, that's right.
I've noticed we don't have anybody here, but I noticed in the recent Canadian Championships that some of those players that slide with a tuck or with a delivery aid, they have to do a bit of choreography in terms of getting rid of things, picking up things.
No, absolutely. And I obviously Callum's doing that because he can now come up and sweep if and when he wants to.
Yes.
And as you say, in the 4-man team, he uses a delivery. It's an old brush, an 8-ender brush actually. With no.
Is that a comfort thing for him, or is that?
Yeah. But it's interesting actually because he's playing mixed with a conventional brush.
Yes.
Maybe that will change.
Could well do. And I know that Matt Dunstone normally slides with a corn broom. He slid with a regular broom. Maybe slid flat in the ice.
I'm sure it's not a superstition, but it's the thing they're used to playing with.
Yeah.
And why would you change if you're being successful? Except when you come to play mix, you suddenly realize, I need another aspect of my game, and maybe that will influence the 4-man.
Yep. Reid Carruthers, who was the silver medalist with Joanne Courtney at Worlds, he plays with a delivery aid, and he slid with it. I mean, he was lucky that he had a sweeper like Joanne Courtney who could make all the difference, but he did at times cast it aside, pick up a brush, and off you come. And it's interesting. Here comes Angus's attempt at this, and unfortunately he has spilled the blue out, which will see the end of the game, as there are not enough blue stones for them to tie. Wonder if we'll see an umpire step in at this stage. And Katie is offering.
Katie's realised.
Katie's offering. Will they accept? They will.
Good, interesting.
So that is a 7-3 to win.
So there's an end where everything in the 4-foot restricted the opposition because the scoring area is really small.
Yes. That's a classic mixed doubles end, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So that means, just to wrap up our scores, so in section C, McFadgen beat Gallagher 11-1. White beat Karen 7-2. In section D, as we've just seen, it was 7-3 for Smith and Kinnear, and Blair beat Stewart. I'm just counting up all the points. There were quite a few. 12, 14, 15-3. 15-3.
So a bit of a doing, but that can be reversed the next game just as easily.
Absolutely.
So let's make sure they have a good attitude going to the next game.
So we now have a bit of a break, bit of a lunch break.
Lunch break?
I know that David's very excited for his
3
lunch.
courses and coffee?
At least.
Excellent.
But we will be back. Our next game is at 2 p.m. And we will be staying on Sheet C. We love Sheet C. And we will be seeing Andrew Caron against Henderson. So that's Andrew Caron
against Faye.
Holly Davis against Faye Henderson and Andrew Robson.
Interesting game.
So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Thanks, Owen.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you this afternoon.